Hello and welcome to 50 Shades of Maintenance. I am Tanya O'Rourke and I am one of your hosts along with TJ Brownfield. Say hello.
Hello.
Ha! I knew I could get you to talk. Phil.
Hello.
Say hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
And Kirk.
Hello.
With
All
boxed water. Wait, you gotta address this boxed water.
Yeah, boxed water, which may contain vodka. I don't know. He may be trying to fake us out.
Boxed water is better. Apparently.
Kirk, you're switching to the box. I don't know.
No. I am fully participating tonight.
Kirk, are you going box? You're going for the box now?
I'm switching to the box.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
I'm giving up the pole and switching to the box.
Awesome.
Well, after seeing your
right
poll
over.
today,
After seeing my poll today, did my poll ruin you for any possible
It was
polls?
long
in
and
the future?
skinny. He's like, I can't have it. Forget it.
Yeah.
All
Sorry,
right.
Tanya, go ahead.
Okay, so tonight, let me show you. Let me show you my shirt. Tonight we're having some, let me put that out of the way. Group therapy with cocktails because we're talking about alcohol consumption.
So tonight we have cock, we have cock and tail both on the show tonight.
We do. It's a special.
Some of us started early.
I thought what we should start with was talking about maybe how we consumed alcohol or if we consumed alcohol before WLS, just so that everybody kind of has a baseline for where we came from to where we are now. And I can start. I can tell you, I'm from New Orleans. We started drinking early. I think I started drinking when I was maybe preteen. I don't know. So I drank a lot all the time. And I was always like the type of person who never had just one drink. I always kind of binge drank from early on. So that's not like terribly different than what I am like now. But yeah, I drink everything, wine, hard liquor, everything. It doesn't matter. So I was always a drinker, always. So.
Did you ever find yourself in unusual situations after a heavy night of drinking?
Isn't that the point of heavy drinking? So name me somebody who hasn't found himself in an odd situation after every night of drinking.
Odd situations or odd positions?
Both.
I actually told Tanya this story, but I woke up in I started partying in Colorado Springs, and I woke up in New Mexico. No idea how I got there. Not a clue. This was way pre-surgery, but yeah. I had
Tell us your pre-story drinking then. I mean, tell us your level.
Oh, that would be a whole nother. So I drank.
Tell us your level of.
So my level of drink, actually right before surgery, I didn't drink much. Like I was always more of a drug guy than a drinking guy. Like I always subscribed to, now I don't do weed now because my job prohibits it, so don't fucking drug test me. But previously, pre-surgery, I always subscribed to you're either a drinker or a drug taker. You're not a drinker and a drug taker. Like that was just too much in my mind. So I was never into drinking. I didn't like the hangover. I didn't like all the damage that it could do to your body, blah, blah, blah. Many reasons I didn't drink. So I didn't drink much. And that was one of the things whenever I had surgery, I was like, I'm not going to drink for that year. And I know Phil made the same. We both kind of made this. Yes, it was, I think, side door, back room, conversation. Dude, I'm not fucking drinking. I'm not touching alcohol for a year. I'm not touching ice cream for a year. I'm not, like, I got 1 year to make my life fucking good. And I'm not going to do any drinking. And 3 months later, I was drinking. But, yeah, I didn't drink that much pre-surgery.
Oh, wow.
Is the short answer to your question, which I can't ever give.
Well, and I'll say, too, I agree with that because I was not a drug taker, but I was a heavy, heavy drinker. So maybe there's some truth to that. Phil?
Kirk. Oh, I'll go
My
last.
turn?
Kirk?
Yeah, well, let's see. Pre-surgery, I was pretty much the same. In my early 20s, single days, I had the place where I would go on Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, Friday nights, Saturday nights, Sunday afternoons. I think the only day where there wasn't something involved was, Mondays or something. But that was in my early 20s. But probably over the past decade or so, we just don't do a lot of drinking here at home. I mean, it's not very much fun. In fact, we just opened a bottle of wine that I had like from 2006 or something. So I mean, it takes us a long time to go through alcohol here in the house because it's just not something that I do regularly or Eric does regularly. Now, Eric's learning to appreciate wine, and that it's actually helping him relax and calm down a little bit after a lot of school and stuff, and I'll join him with that. But I'm typically that kind of person who really doesn't think about it too much during the week, but if I'm going to go out in a social situation, it's usually like no holds barred. It's like, it's like I'm one of those people that just likes to have one right after the other, right after the other. I always like to have something in my hand. And
this is post-op, right? Not we were just kind of talking pre-op.
Well, no, so it's pre-op and post-op. My drinking patterns haven't changed. I still am a social drinker. I still tend to binge drink during those social situations. I don't drink and drive, and get too crazy. But yeah, it's about the same. I would say the way it impacts me is different post-op than it does pre-op. I mean, we'll probably talk about this a little bit, but I tend to get, pretty buzzed, like after 2 glasses of wine or even like 1 mixed drink. But then, 40 minutes later, I'm totally fine. So it's weird, but with my pattern of 1 drink after another drink after another drink, it could be like 3 in an hour, and I'm plastered. So.
Which we'll talk about that later because I want to comment on that.
Sure.
But I actually beforehand I waited very late to start drinking. Actually, I was wait, I'm gonna bring the party down a little. Here's the party down just a tiny bit. My father and my grandfather.
Wait, hold on a minute. You're gonna be a downer? Is that what
I know. Imagine that. Shocker.
Come on, this is completely out of your persona.
I know. Let me be vague about this. My parent, who's not a woman, and his father. No, my dad and my grandfather both were alcoholics. Functional alcoholics, perfectly functional. My grandfather drank himself to death by 57, 58. My dad followed suit pretty quickly thereafter. So I was always a little scared of alcohol, but my best friend, Roach, who's come up on this show before, he said he had the same problem. He's like, hey, man, we stay away from booze, blah, blah, blah. But he got drunk. He's like, dude, you got to try this. He's like, you will have so much fun. He's like, come on, we'll go up to the lake house and we'll get drunk. So I think at like 26 or 27, maybe 25, 26, we went up and I got drunk for the first time. After that, it was social drinking, full on. Fully responsible. When we're somewhere, we're not going to be driving. We're just walking. We're taking cabs. I'm on. When the party time was on, I was on. Social time was fine. Social drinking was great. I was okay with that, and that was the only time. So that was before.
And what did you get drunk on the first time? Boone's form.
I'm gonna pull my man card right here. It was rum involved for my protection.
Pink squirrel.
We got drunk with a bunch of girls, so it was daiquiris. Strawberry daiquiris. And we couldn't get drunk fast enough, so we were doing push-ups to make our blood alcohol pump in faster. So.
Oh, how funny is that?
That actually makes sense.
That's not something I would want to do. Like, do push-ups next to Roach? Like, I don't want to do anything next to Roach.
It's very emasculating when you do it.
I think, like, next to Eric, Roach is probably the most fuckable guy in the world. Like, he's just, like, stud guy, cool guy. Like, he's cool, he's ripped, but he's not, like, full of himself. Like, he's just kind of he's a cool dude. But, like, if you just kind of stand back and you look at him, you're like, oh, douchebag. But if you talk to him for 2 seconds, you're like, no, this dude fucking rocks, man. Like, excuse me, sir, can I suck your cock? That's just kind of how you feel.
Well, I kind of liked his story where it was going. His friend invited him up to a cabin.
They were drinking daiquiri.
Yeah, drinking daiquiri. Doing push-ups.
I still didn't score. I still did not score with that chick. God damn it.
They got sweaty. They had to take their shirts off because they were too hot. Go ahead, Phil. Continue the story.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
Just a tip, just to see how it felt.
Just a tip, just for a second. Just for a second. So I don't know. I guess we're going to go into post-surgery, right, Tanya?
Right. Okay. So I wanted to see what did everybody's surgeons have as their rules. Was it my surgeon said not to drink for a year, and I clearly didn't listen to that. But what did everybody else's surgeon say?
Who would you
My
like to
surgeon
know?
said the same thing. Basically, don't drink for a year, or he didn't say I couldn't. He said you just make the most out of the first year, make the most out of the first year, and I think that's I'll go to TJ here in a sec, but I think that basically that's where TJ and I's pact came from, and I made it on the ice cream. I will say I did make it a whole year without ice cream, but TJ, take it away.
Yeah, no, for me, I didn't. I made my thing was 3 months. Now I didn't. No, I got
But
pretty crazy.
what did your surgeon say? What did your surgeon say?
Oh, my surgeon. I'm trying to think back. My surgeon was more like dead set against tobacco and coffee than he was alcohol.
Really?
Like,
Oh, 'cause
and I
that's-
think maybe that was just because, I told him I'm just not, like, I'm not a drinker. Just by nature, I don't drink. It's very weird how it's changed, but which I'm sure we're gonna get into. This was full earlier, just so everybody's aware of where, where we're at.
Now it's your pee bottle.
That's my pee bottle now. So if you see me going like this, everybody knows what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It'll be the same color.
But my surgeon was more adamant about don't take any tobacco because I chewed, obviously. No tobacco, no caffeine. And my no caffeine, I'm going to sidebar a little bit, but my no caffeine came from my own research. I found that acidity-wise, like what it's going to do to you is not like the difference between caffeinated coffee and decaffeinated coffee is just like minuscule. So I was like, fuck it. If I'm going to drink decaf, I might as well drink calf. If I'm going to do Coke, I might as well do meth.
Right.
Okay.
I say that all the time.
Who doesn't?
Kirk, what about your surgeon?
It never came up with my surgeon, per se, during the consultation or pre-op. And then thinking back with the nutritionist, I don't think she brought it back. Now, the materials that I had that they gave us pre-op, talking about our diets afterwards or our eating plans, I remember seeing there being two conflicting kind of statements in the packet. Like in one part of the packet, I think it had like a 3-month or 4-month minimum. And then the other one was like 6 months or something. So it was conflicting. And I remember making note of it because I think my surgery was in January 3rd, and we were going to go spring barrel wine tasting in late April, early May. So I wanted to make sure that I was within compliance. So I chose to believe the one that said 3 months part of the packet, so that
Smart boy.
But that was the first time that I had wine post-op. I really did sort of wait at least that 3-month period before even having anything. Period. But and it was I was fine. I can understand why they bring it up, or they would bring it up for some folks. I mean, because it's empty calories. It's a lot of I can understand why they'd want you to avoid it, especially in the losing phase. And I purposely stayed away from alcohol during the losing phase because I was benefiting from eating relatively low carb and healthy anyways, just based on protein and produce kind of rules first. So I wanted to keep that ketosis train going, and I didn't want anything to sort of affect that. So
and that's one thing I kind of wished I would have asked my surgeon at the time, like, why? Because I don't know if it's because of the carb and the calories, the empty calories, or if it's because they're afraid you're going to transfer addict and they don't want that to happen to you. I don't know, and the next time I see my surgeon, I may just bring it up just as a a question to ask, because I don't. It was just in the rules, like you don't do it, and I'm a rule follower, so I said okay, I don't do it. So,
Well,
I think
go ahead.
ahead.
Sorry. No.
Go ahead.
It was a side question, so finish your thought.
Well, no, mine was kind of a side thing too. I was going to say my first time I had anything to drink after. I had my surgery in November, and we had Mardi Gras in February, and I had a Jello shot.
Oh, Mardi Gras! Look, I got my Mardi Gras shirt.
Oh.
I got my Mardi Gras shirt. Wait, I got my Mardi Gras shirt.
Oh, and I don't have
Okay,
any
sorry.
to throw at you. Sorry. But I had a Jello shot, and it burned like fire going down, and I was like, oh shit, maybe that's why they said not to drink, because this didn't feel good. So that was in February, and then I didn't drink again until May when I went to the first WLSFA degree.
A penicillin shot will take care of the burning. Just
TJ's ultimate prescription for everything.
Right.
Penicillin, baby. I just give me penicillin. Like, just let me carry around penicillin. Life is good. Fuck, I forgot what I was. Go ahead.
Forgot your sidebar.
Yeah, it was complete fucking sidebar. It was a really good sidebar though. Go ahead.
All right, well, I'll keep talking and then you'll think of it. So anyway, when I had gone to the WSFA for the first time, that meet and greet, I so I had vodka and cranberry at that time, and that was the first time I drank
You need to go tell John to get off WoW right now.
Why am I lagging?
Starting to lock up.
No, he's not on WoW because I have his computer.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Like, listen, motherfucker, you are not
nullify.
gonna play WoW.
No fly, as I like to call it.
Well, somebody else can talk if they want. If
Well,
I'm
go ahead. You're fine now.
okay.
Wait,
All
go
right,
back to what you were saying before that. What were you saying whenever I was like sidebar? What were you saying? What were you talking about?
WLSFA, cranberry and vodka is all I heard.
We're talking about
It was
going-
before that.
No, before that was about the doctor. Like I wanted to ask my doctor, why did they say no alcohol for a year? Is it because of transport addiction? Or it's gone. You just
It's completely gone. Yeah.
That's what happens when you drink like more than 3/4 of that bottle in one day.
Well, it's a big bottle. That's what I'm saying is that you have, we'll get into it, like guidelines, right? So you have your bad day and you have your good day. And today was a bad day, so this. Anyway, it used to be vodka. Like that was my drink back in the day, was vodka. I think we all start out on vodka, don't we? Did anybody not start out on vodka?
No, that's what I started out on
Same here.
for a long time.
Kirk, did you start out on vodka?
No, I think I started off on Long Island iced teas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that was like the drink
yeah.
special at the place where we used to go, $2.75 Long Island iced teas.
Oh, nothing like a well-drink Long Island iced tea.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was
That's a headache waiting to happen.
I was like 19 or 20 at the time, you know, but I had a beard, so they thought I was 21. And
I started drinking like hardcore whenever I was 17 because I looked older, and I used to go in, and it was this is not a racist comment, but it was an Asian-owned place, and they didn't care, I don't think. But I would get a bottle of Southern Comfort every night, 100 proof Southern Comfort, and I would drink it every night. I would drink a whole pint of it. 100 proof Southern Comfort. Now I can't drink it now; it tastes like cough syrup. But
well, when you said started out of vodka, I thought you meant
no,
I did.
No, I mean we were kind of throwing back a little bit, but yeah, after surgery it was vodka. But I drank vodka and orange juice, and actually in Tampa, I don't remember who told me, but they're like, "Hey, there's some light cranberry juice up there," because we kept going. Everybody would go up to somebody else's room because everybody's room had a bunch of alcohol in it. But somebody's like, "Hey, there's some light cranberry up there. Try vodka and light cranberry." So I made vodka and light cranberry, and I was like, "Oh, that's fucking amazing!" And there's like no calories in that.
That might have been me because there's only 10 calories in light cranberry.
I want to say
that's what I used to drink.
I want to say it was Dana, but I wouldn't throw her in the bus like that. She's way too proper to be giving me drink advice.
No, she and I drank vodka and light cranberry together, so
she had
it could have been
one. She's very, she can control her drink.
That's right.
She's not out of control like you and me.
She was, and she was very put together. Like I said, I've always kind of woman crushed Dana for whatever reason.
She's fantastic. I like her too.
Isn't she? She's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I think she's
There's just certain people that stick out.
She's so sweet and so genuine. That's what makes her so endearing. Like Mama Rose, same thing. She's so sweet, so endearing that like she wishes no ill will on any human being. Or Janie, same thing. They're just very good people. Just loving of every. Yeah, they're good people is what it is.
Yeah, but you can tell Dana's got a bad girl edge. Like
I don't know if she's ever explored it, but yeah, she has it.
I think so. Her sense of humor and stuff. Yeah, I totally see that. Mm-hmm.
Aren't you so glad everybody started drinking before the show? Dana's fucking
I
trying to get this shit off the net as we speak.
Yeah, I started way early, just so everybody knows. So I'm way ahead of these guys.
No, you are way ahead.
I got off work early. I went fishing, and you can't fish and not drink. I posted it on Facebook, which most of you aren't my friends because I won't allow it.
Who's the snob now?
I know. I have turned into Phil, and Phil has turned into TJ.
That's true. I'm slipping and swapping roles.
And I think that's something that we should talk about. We'll do that on another show, but just the swapping. Like, it's just very weird that, I mean, I see it mostly between me and Phil, because me and Phil were real close, before surgery. So we know how each other, like how we thought, how we were, what our core values were. Like, we know that, and there's been somewhat, not complete, but there's been somewhat of a swap of just personalities, the way we think, the way we everything, that I think is kind of interesting to me. It's more interesting to me than alcohol is. The way the brain works is much more interesting than the way alcohol works, but.
You mean sense surgery?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. I'm like rolling this paper towel up as fast as I can as he's talking.
You're like, I got a joke for this. I got a joke for this. Please work.
Okay.
Well, I think with my personality, I was a certain way for a long time. Like I'd say from like 15 until I don't know mid-20s, and then my personality toned down and changed a lot, and I kind of took on the like wife and mother role for a long time, and then post WLS, and I don't know, I've come to an awakening that was really the true me, the 20-something and whatever, and I've kind of gone back to that old personality that I had before. So, and alcohol is part of that, so a big part of that actually. I definitely was always kind of a social person, a very social person in my early 20s, and drinking was a big part of that, and I enjoyed that. And I feel like in a lot of ways I've come back into my own and through socializing. And I think my drinking is more of a social thing than, people talk about transfer addiction, and we'll get into that, but I don't feel like mine's a transfer addiction. I feel like I'm way more social now, and I enjoy socializing and being with people, and I always equate that with drinking because I drink when I'm social. So.
See, I don't. So I'm going to get into my theory on that. Maybe this is too early, and you guys can stop me, but you can try to stop me. But I think that there's a certain high, there's a certain like excitement and roller coaster that goes on during the weight loss phase, right? You're losing weight, you're excited, like everything's happening fast. Like it's very much like, in a sense, what famous people go through. It's just like, oh, everything's so amazing and it's so fast paced, and then it slows down a little bit. And I think during that, once you get caught up in that and all the weight loss stuff, and then especially after it, once weight loss slows down, like that, the alcohol just kind of pumps it up a little bit. Like
another level of excitement.
It numbs you out to all the bad stuff, and you're just kind of left with the good stuff, unless you're an angry drunk, which I don't think any of us are. I don't think.
No, we're lovers.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all very hands-on once we start drinking.
Yes, very lovey drunks, that's for sure.
Yeah, Eric loves that.
Yeah.
So I think that some of it is that trying to recapture the excitement or keep the excitement going past just that scale and what's going on. I mean, I don't know. Does anybody else agree with me? Disagree with me? What's your thoughts?
I think that begs the question, right? So, like, what's your drinking habits after, and why? I mean, Tanya, I don't want to steal it, but is that kind of where you were going?
Yeah, well, I think this is my theory, and y'all can say if y'all agree or disagree, whatever. But I think I drink more often and more heavily now because there are less repercussions than before. Before, like I said, I was always a binge drinker, so I would drink until I grew up, basically, whenever I went out, and that was just my MO. And I would be so sick that I wouldn't drink for maybe 6 or 7 days, and we'd do it again the next weekend. But now I don't really get hangovers. I've never thrown up post-surgery, no matter how much I've drank. So there's no repercussions, and I can get that high whenever I want, and I know the next day I can still get up and go do whatever I want to do. So I think that's what makes it more enticing, and there's no drawback from it. And I don't know, do y'all agree with that? Do y'all think that's the same for y'all?
Kirk, why don't you pick it up from there, and then I'll go.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of, when you were describing, that you're more social, so naturally there's the drinking that's involved with that. I agree with you 100%. I think I'm a lot more social. I had like that whole period of almost a year where I was essentially living alone and didn't have much to do post-op. My first year post-surgery, I was living by myself while Eric was at his first year of medical school. So, a lot of my time was just I'm going to speak for all the gay people. No, not all the gay people.
You are the representative.
I am the gay.
Looked it up today, and Kirk is he is the voice. Ellen is the lesbian voice. Kirk is the gay man voice. Go ahead.
So
Well,
just,
no, wait a minute. So is he like CEO or is he just spokesperson?
I would
Well,
prefer
it's both,
I
but
prefer spokesmodel, but
Okay, spokesman. Sorry.
yeah. But like just historically, gay people have always sort of had to, from my generation and earlier, really the only place you could meet other gay people was in a bar, or was, you know, in a social situation that involved a bar where there was alcohol and those kinds of things. So a lot of my early socialization was all done, you know, in bars or whatever. So for me, being social involves, you know, going someplace where there's cocktails and it's fun. So I agree with Tanya 100% that you know, if I don't have anything social going on, I'm typically not drinking anything. Like it's just
Right.
not. It's kind of pointless. It's like I'm not the type of person that's going to sit home and say, oh, I'm going to get plastered and then watch TV or YouTube or whatever. You know, for me, it's not as fun. I need that social interaction. I need that. You know, I need all that kind of energy to sort of feed on that. Otherwise, it's. So I think, but I can see where it could be a transfer addiction for folks because, you know, it's easy to get down. It's mood altering. You know, it's very easy to see why somebody would be like, you know, I'm not going to try to gag down any more of that chicken breast, but this margarita went down really well. You know, so I totally get it, and I think that every weight loss surgery patient does have some degree or some type of transfer addiction. I just don't know that it's to alcohol or as much hype as or attention that the alcohol gets.
yeah, I'll own up to some dirty secrets here. Like, and I drink a lot more at home than I used to. I only used to drink socially. It got to a point where I was like, yeah, you know, I'm not going to do that anymore. Like, you know, I really was like at the point where like, I'm self-medicating. I'm trying to quiet that critical mind, that mind that I'm always beating myself up with, the mind that is always second guessing all my wants, my needs, and all these changes, and what am I doing with my life, and why am I where I'm at right now, and what does it all mean? And that just wears on me after a while, and sometimes I'll just drink to shut it up. And I know that's not good. I mean, especially coming from a family that had alcoholics in it, so I have to always be careful of that. So I'm always kind of walking that line, you know. There's a point where it's okay to medicate a little bit, and there's a point where medicating is wrong, you know. So I'm always walking that line a little bit. So I've really tried to dial back to where, like, if for some reason Allison says, "Hey, let's have wine tonight," I'm in. I'm all in.
Yeah.
But I won't go out and initiate that at home. But if I'm out, then it's social, then it's like, totally acceptable, and I will go full on, you know, as Kirk and Tanya will attest. So.
Well, you know, Phil, I kind of have the same thing because my mom's brother, he was a heroin addict and he died, and then my dad's little brother was an alcoholic and he died about, I think he was 56 or 57, and I mean, he had cirrhosis of the liver and the whole thing. So I have addiction on both sides of my family, so I've always been kind of hyper aware, and I think that's why I never did drugs, because I didn't want to go down that same path, but then I drink. So, but I think I stay aware of, am I doing it because I'm being social, or am I doing it to self-medicate? And I can honestly say that when I went through my little crazy period a little over a year ago, that's when I drank all along up until then, from about 6 months out from surgery up until then, off and on. But I started drinking more then, and I know it was like a self-medicating kind of thing. But since then, since I've kind of got past that phase, it's social. I know it's social. It's not. I know I don't have a problem with it, but I can.
Do you drink alone? But do you drink alone? You don't drink at home whenever you're not going out?
I'm not alone when I'm at home.
No, fuck that.
My kids are here. I drink all the time. My kids are here.
No.
Fucking, they need to go to the hospital. They can walk.
Yeah.
Right down the street.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like alone, like you're sitting in a dark room, you know, whipping yourself while you're drinking. I'm saying, do you drink just to drink? Do you not just drink, but do you get drunk even when nothing's going on?
No, I may drink, but I won't get drunk if nothing's going on. So like maybe like on a Thursday night, we're gonna watch Fat Kings. I'll have my coffee and I'll put my Baileys in it. It's not like I'm getting hammered off of coffee and Baileys, you know, but it's just like a little something to take the edge off. That's something I would not have done before surgery. I have to own up to. Before surgery, if I knew I wasn't going to get hammered, I didn't drink because it was like, what's the point? I'm either not going to drink or I'm going to get loaded. There was no in between. Now I'm happy to have a glass of wine or some Baileys and a nighttime coffee just to kind of relax a little bit, maybe once a week, maybe, not even every week. But if I go out on Saturday night to go see my band play, I'm probably getting totally toasted. So
I didn't know that you were a member of a band.
it's a band that I really like to see.
Oh, well, you said my band, so I thought that maybe you were in a band.
Yes, I'm a groupie, so, you know. Hence the black t-shirt.
And she's sleeping with a guitarist, just to be clear.
I am sleeping with a guitarist who practices most nights.
Wait, he practices a guitar or he practices you? I'm just
Do you
checking.
really want to know?
Not really.
All right. Well, wait. I got some questions today when I had posted up the thing, and that was one of the things that came up was, do you think that most WLSers had an addiction to food, and that alcohol has become the transfer addiction? So I wanted to see what everybody thought about. Do you think you had an addiction to food prior to WLS? And I don't know for myself. I don't know. I definitely had an unhealthy relationship with food. I don't know if I would consider it an addiction, though. I actually looked up the definition of addiction today, so I could kind of speak intelligently about it. It's a compulsive drug use despite harmful consequences. It's characterized by the inability to stop using a drug or failure to meet work, social, or family obligations, and sometimes there's a tolerance or a withdrawal. So if you look at it that way, I don't know if I was addicted to food, but I definitely used food for comfort.
Mm-hmm.
What would y'all say?
I agree with you 100%. Like, I definitely used food to sort of relieve stress. I used food the same way somebody would use probably having a glass of wine, after a bad day, or as a reward, or and it always involved too much food, and it always involved really crappy, comforty food types things. So yeah, I don't know if I could go as far as to say it was an addiction, although it definitely was, like you said, a really unhealthy relationship for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tag up on that and say that I don't ever think I had an addiction. I definitely had a rivalry with food, and sometimes the demon won out, and sometimes I won out, and that meant that sometimes I ate shitty stuff I shouldn't have, in quantities I shouldn't have. And then other times I just hated food and didn't want to have anything to do with it. So I guess that's an unhealthy relationship right there in and of itself.
Yeah.
What about you, TJ?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I had a bad or addictive or bad relationship with food before my surgery, but I didn't know that I did. Like, I didn't realize my food addiction or my food soothing until after I had surgery. Like, now I notice it. And whenever I get real upset, I'm going to eat ice cream. I see the stuff that I do that I just wasn't aware of it beforehand. So I see my food addiction more now after surgery than I did pre-op, for sure.
I think it's weird that I feel like I'm way more hyper aware of myself and my actions now post WLS. Even as many times as I lost weight beforehand, I wouldn't always notice that I was gaining the weight back or that I was slipping into bad behaviors, but now I definitely notice it. I'm very aware of myself now where I wasn't before. And I don't know why, but I definitely...
Well,
because you're measuring everything. Yeah, you're measuring everything nonstop.
And you're, not even just measuring, but you're just more aware. I mean, you're aware now, and with as much information that's exchanged on YouTube and Facebook, and people talking about their stories and their experiences and everything, you kind of are just more aware of what to look for and behaviors to slip into, and it really gives you the opportunity to make changes, before it becomes a real problem. But just having that insight that's like 90% of the battle right there.
I 100% agree with that. I think it's, to TJ's point, what gets measured gets paid attention to. But to your guys' point, I am aware of not just my food or my drink intake, but how I react emotionally to things.
Yeah.
Like I talked about in my video this week. You know, I noticed somebody was upset with me, and I thought, oh, please don't be mad at me.
You were talking about me, motherfucker, weren't you? Were you talking about
I said
me?
good things about you. Relax.
No, I'm just saying you were talking about me.
No, actually, I wasn't.
Oh, you were?
No, I really wasn't. Somebody said they got, you know, I said, hey, please don't be mad at me, and then I walked away and I went, no, that's okay if they're mad at me. They're entitled to their own feelings. I'm not. I can't control their emotions. Like, I'm aware of all of these things. I'm hyper aware of them, which I think is probably a good thing. I mean, I think that's why it's not an addiction at this point.
I know it's real important to you, Phil. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you that this week's video made me happy. Like I did not want to slip my wrist after I watched your video this week. So. Hercules. I was like, wow, like you smiled. Your voice was up tempo. You didn't seem to hate your life. Like everything about this week's video was good. So please continue your current trend.
Oh, you got the TJ seal of approval.
Nice. It took weeks, but I got it.
That's right. Well, you were like getting dark, man. Like I was just like, fuck, man, you're dragging me down. But
do you want me to make you really super happy right now, TJ?
Yes.
I got an update from Eric. He landed in Portland and he's connecting to Seattle soon. But he said, tell TJ I'd love to try to get him pregnant over and over and over.
Nice. That makes me very happy.
And that's coming from a bottom, so that's impressive.
Oh gosh, Phil.
When a bottom wants to impregnate you, that's
right.
And that's what my comment was whenever Tanya goes, "Who wouldn't?" I said, "Kirk."
Well, he's still Latino. So he'll definitely get you pregnant on the first try.
First shot to wet.
You know how many girls are swooning and wishing they were TJ right now?
All you ladies that have a big fluffy beard and a hairy ass.
That's right. So speaking of hairy ass, we talked about maybe doing a waxing show. Phil brought this up. Right. That we all go get waxed. We all
and you guys
get
can see our faces as it happens.
Yeah.
That would be horrible.
And I said I'm already getting waxed this weekend, so y'all are all pussies. So.
That seems like a common thing for women. I just can't. I've never been waxed. I've never had waxing of anything.
Oh.
No, I never did it before my tummy tuck. And I was like, when I saw my girly parts after.
You couldn't.
My
whisper.
Yeah. Oh wait, I forgot. Yeah.
My private area.
Your private area.
No, you didn't say private. You definitely said pubic.
My pubic region.
Yes.
Pubic
My former fupa.
Yeah, I said this can't be covered in hair anymore.
I think it was actually. That's what she said.
Look who's talking.
I know, motherfucker. I can make that joke.
Wookie motherfucker. I know. It's like fat people can make fun of fat people. Black people can make fun of black people. But hairy people can make fun of hairy people.
That's right.
I think Phil's probably the hairiest guy I've ever known. Hands down, hairiest.
No, you know John.
I do, but Phil is hairier than Phil, or Phil is hairier than John, but Phil he uses shears, like he breaks shears.
I do. I replace shears like monthly.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean he has John feet.
No.
I noticed in Tampa. So like after meeting Phil, it was like I was like, oh, hug Phil, and then it's like you're itchy. Like,
start calling me the cactus.
Wait,
I was like, wait a minute.
I'll let y'all in on a inside O'Rourke story.
Uh-oh.
Okay, you know, John and I met each other on the internet. All right, so we didn't actually. He's in Australia. I'm here, and so I had decided I was going to go there to visit him, and that's how we first met in person. And about 2 weeks before I went there, he said he sent me an email. And he said I have something I need to tell you before you come here. You need to know something. And I was like, oh my God, he has another family, or he's in jail, or I don't like what. And so and of course there was always a time lapse, so I had to send him an email like, well, just tell me what it is. So like the next day I get an email back and he goes, you need to know that I'm hairy. I have lots of hair on my body.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I can sell it in short.
I've seen pictures of you. I realize you got hair. Like that's not.
I'll give you an inside O'Rourke story.
Oh
God.
just to make Tanya nervous, look at her. She's like, "Oh fuck, what's he gonna say?
Oh, cringing.
What is he gonna say?" But we all went to go get tattoos together, and John was gonna get the tattoo of Australia on his lower back. Honestly, he was gonna do that.
Talk him out of this. Please tell
He's
me.
like, I think I'm gonna, like, I was thinking maybe right here, and I was like, he's joking, right? And Johnny's like, no, like he's really saying that right now. Like, this is happening right now. And I'm like, John, you can't. No, you can't do that. Like, part of me wanted to be like, dude, that was fucking
do it, dude.
You would be fucking high five. You're the man. But I didn't. So he got it on his calf. But
I would have. See, I'm the opposite. I would have said, nah, no tattoo. But how about that piercing stuff they have here?
Yeah,
How about a
Kurt's the piercing king? He wins.
now I know that
he wins all of piercing.
We could sit and tell stories all night, and if people really want that, we'll give you guys fucking campfire story night. But
get off track.
We got a lot of questions. There was a lot of questions on Facebook, and there was a lot of questions on YouTube. So Tanya, you plow through. Tanya, you plow through it. You plow through it like Kirk and Eric. Like Kirk and Eric, you plow through that shit.
All right. Okay.
So plow through Facebook, and then I'll do YouTube. So go ahead.
Okay. So Katie, losing weight. Kate's for her first question was a silly question. She said, "How much tequila makes your clothes fall off?" Tequila doesn't make my clothes fall off, but it does. I always said tequila goes straight to your crotch, and it does.
Tequila is the devil's juice.
Tequila is the devil's juice.
Yeah, that's weird. Like, I want to get the formulation of that. Like, why does tequila do that to people? Like,
because it comes to a fucking cactus and it's already pissed off. That's why.
It's not necessarily. It's alpha-gavi, but look, there goes Kirk. He's gonna fucking ditch out on this. I
gotta piss and get more.
That gay bat. Well, go ahead, me and Tanya. Right. Everybody's here for me and Tanya anyway. Nobody cares about
the sexy question.
You guys are just here so we don't feel so fucking bad. But there's something about there's something about tequila. I don't know, and I don't think it affects men the same. Like, men get fucking woo, or whatever. Some guys want to fight because they're fucking insecure pussies. But
women get horny with
tequila makes every woman horny and naked, and I don't know why.
I stopped drinking tequila at about 19 when I realized that, and so. Yeah, I don't do tequila anymore. Very little. I do it. Okay, I'll say I did some. So I made some Jello shots with tequila in it for the Mardi Gras, and
I don't like that.
They weren't great, right? I won't be doing that again. But yeah, the tequila. Okay, ladies, no. Okay, so Katie's serious question, and I'm not waiting for Phil to come back. I don't know where.
No, that's fine. That's fine. The important people are here. So go ahead.
Do you think we can still have high blood alcohol levels and not feel drunk post-surgery?
No.
And do you understand the question?
Yes, and no is
the answer. If you don't feel drunk, then you don't have a high blood alcohol level.
No, no. I mean, feeling drunk and being drunk, like legally blowing a breathalyzer and being drunk, are not the same thing. You can feel extremely intoxicated and be fine, and you can also feel fine and be extremely intoxicated. It's strictly a measure of what your alcohol content is in your breath, and if they do blood, what it is in your blood. So it really has nothing to do with how you feel. You know what I mean? So that's why I say don't drive buzzed, because technically you're legal to drive buzzed, but.
And that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's how you feel. And I think that this is where we're going to get into a splitting or a differentiating of weight loss surgery. So if you had VSG versus RNY versus DS versus the band, your experience with alcohol or your relationship to alcohol is going to be very different, right? Because 80% of absorption happens inside of your intestines. So for a RNY person, that shit hits your intestine right away. You're getting a much higher dose than a VSGer. And then a lap bander's getting a smaller dose than all of us, right? Because they still have, like, full everything.
Full stomach, right.
Full stomach, full pyloric valve, whereas, like, the RMY people, and I think the DS people, I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. I wish I would have looked at it. I think DS gets to keep their pyloric valve, but I know RNY doesn't. So they just, boom, alcohol right into it. You're absorbing a lot of alcohol, so you're going to feel a lot more fucked up. I mean, the saving grace of that is that it doesn't hit your liver. So if you have liver problems and you have RNY, it's probably going to take less of a toll on your liver than the rest of us, right? But how you feel versus what your blood alcohol content or your breathalyzer, what you're going to blow on it is not the same at all. They don't match up. So you can't judge how drunk you are by how you feel. It just can't be done.
No, and that's what I was going to say. I always err on the side of never go by how you feel. If we're going out, we take a taxi.
Mm-hmm. Always.
I will pay $30 for a taxi to come home rather than take the chance of killing somebody, killing myself, whatever bad can come of drinking and driving. I always take a taxi home. So.
Or we get your daddy. We get your daddy to take us.
Or I get my daddy.
Dad. Yes.
I tell you what, Tanya's dad is
fucking awesome. Let me tell you that right now.
Yeah, that's why she's gonna say Tanya's mom and dad are both awesome. Like her mom is like very like she has a conservative feel to her, but I don't think that's how she is. Like I think underneath there, I think Bobby could go fucking wild in the right situation. But her dad's real cool. Her mom's cool too, but
her dad's got the smile that you just know right away. First time you see the guy, you're like, I could party with this motherfucker. I could party with this dude.
I think you could.
We would have a good time. We would have fun.
I mean, he's a cool dude, but I like her mom too.
I haven't met her mom, just her dad. So.
Oh, you didn't meet her mom?
No, I didn't get to meet her mom.
No, my mom didn't come over then.
He's all right.
My mom couldn't take meeting me and Kirk.
He's like one of those people who would like
one fucking house. That's a lot of sexy.
She'd be one of those people who like, oh, I can't watch this, and then she would be doing this the whole time.
Right.
Like, oh, I can't watch this.
All right, Tanya. Next question. We love your family.
Sorry.
Move on.
Okay. Let's see. Is there any issues with increased desire to eat while drinking? I'll say for me, there's no increased desire to eat while drinking, but when I come home from drinking, I want to eat something. I do have a decrease in inhibition with wanting to snack on stuff.
If you're at home and you're drinking, you're going to eat. If you're out, much less likely. You're actually... The only time you'll eat when you're out, like when we were out in New Orleans, the only time we ate was like to slow our roll a little bit. It's like, whoa, we better eat something because we're drunk. Like,
yes.
But that
sounds like you guys decided to eat a lot of muff whenever you got hungry.
Yeah, but we didn't eat muff while we were drunk. We ate it sober, which is the strange thing.
Oh, you ate muff sober. Wow.
We ate muff to get the day started.
Yeah, we ate muff in the morning, pretty much. It took a long. Let me tell you something. It took a long time to get to the muff. I worked hard to get the muff. I stood in line for the muff. I had to corral cats to get to the muff. But once I had the muff,
it was worth.
So wait a minute. So you're saying that you had to deal with a lot of pussy to get to the muff?
That's what I'm saying. Even
Phil is saying that the muff was worth the work.
Was it?
Was every mouthful.
Was the juice was worth the squeeze?
Even Kirk liked the muff. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the interesting thing. What was really interesting is the weird peripheral strangers that just kind of sat down around us to watch us eat the muff.
They did. They just sat there and
random people. Like really, like there wasn't that kind of space that normal strangers would normally give you when you're out in public while you're doing something like eating the muff. And these people, I don't know if they wanted to get in on the muff eating, or they were just really excited that we were so excited about eating muff. I don't know.
Kirk, we were at the side of the river eating muff in public. It's kind of hard not to see. I
know, but it's like these.
But it was a little impolite, yes.
But there were some really close strangers to us, and I'm like, are they here for the muff, or are they going to steal our wallets? Like, I don't know. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of New Orleans. You don't know, like they're gonna party with me or they're gonna fucking mug me. You don't know. You don't know till the end of the night. Like if you saw your money, they were good people.
Hey, and sometimes they're in your party, so that's the other thing. Like, sometimes people you don't know that answer to, which is the other fun thing.
Well, there's that.
All right, go ahead. We got a lot of questions.
Okay. Let's see. Do you find that now
you printed that shit out? You printed it out? You're not reading out the internet?
It's printed out probably and a spreadsheet.
Wait,
have you met her?
Wait, I left work and got about a half mile down the road and realized I left this on the printer and went back and get it. All right. Do you find, this
You're
is from
great.
Lorraine Xena VSG Warrior Princess. Do you find that now, as a WLSer, that there are certain types of alcohol that you can tolerate, whereas before it didn't really matter? I can say for me, yes. I used to be able to drink anything. It didn't matter. I drank anything. Now, and drive-through daiquiri places are real big thing.
Anything that came around, I put it in my mouth. Like everything went in my. I was like a toddler. Everything went in my mouth. Sorry.
That's why.
Why did I know you back then, TJ?
That's why I never get sick, because I had lots of germs in my mouth. But no, so I used to drink lots of daiquiris when I was like a teenager, because we have lots of drive-through daiquiri places. I cannot drink those frozen daiquiris anymore. It's too sweet. I can't take the sugar content. It makes me feel nauseous. So that's the only thing I can't tolerate. I drink all hard liquor now. Before, I never drank wine because I never felt it. Now I can drink 2 glasses of wine and I feel a buzz from it, so I do drink it now. But yeah, what about y'all?
I can't drink. I used to really love margaritas, and anything really acidic, I can't. It just gives me heartburn or acid reflux.
I had the same heartburn.
So even like with vodka cranberries, vodka orange juice, it has to be very limited. It's not going to be, or mimosas even. It has to be a very small amount, because just the acid, it doesn't agree with me post-surgery. But you know, things like wine, white wine, red wine will also kind of give me a little bit of heartburn. But you know, typically everything else seems to be okay. It's just anything really tart, sweet, or acidic. Mm-hmm.
Kirk, we're exactly the same.
Well, you know.
I know.
I seem to be okay with pretty much anything, but I try to stay away from the more sugary stuff usually, just because I don't need the extra calories. I just rather go for the hard stuff. Beers, I stay away from normally anyway. It's just too many calories for the amount of bang I get from my buck. But you know, I will say I was guilty of drinking that antifreeze margarita or daiquiri in New Orleans, and it was no shit. I mean, that's no joke.
Was that the one that was 190 proof or something?
Yeah, it was like straight up like grain alcohol inside sugary water. Which
could you taste it? Because I remember having one and not really.
That was the great part.
I'm like, are you sure?
That's the thing. You
it
can't
was strong as shit, and it did not. I mean, Lauren had like a 32-ounce version of that. I'm surprised she's not dead.
It's just so little.
She had a drink as
big as 5'2". I mean,
like she's carrying it like this, walking around.
No, exactly. She's like carrying it like a 55-gallon drum, you know, like a fucking dwarf from like you know, Lord of the Rings or something. It was terrible. And she's like, my precious, you know. I was like, stay away. She's gonna hurt somebody.
TJ, what about you? Do you drink alcohols that are different now?
Yeah, I mean, I switch it up a lot. Like my, everybody knows I went through my White Russian. White Russian was initial, and then Midnight White Russians with Midnight Kahlua.
You got hooked on those pretty bad, yeah.
Yeah, I drank a lot of those, and those are high caloric drinks. You're drinking half and half or heavy cream, whichever you want to mix with it. With Midnight Kahlua, there's a shit ton of sugar in that drink.
I call that an adult milkshake.
It is. I mean, it tastes it tastes amazing, and it fucks you up because I think it's 80 proof.
Yeah.
I think it's 80 proof. It's a strong ass drink. It's the same as vodka.
It's good.
It tastes like ice cream, so it'll fuck you up.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously vodka, and then I'm kind of getting into Walter's quite because Walter asked about, you know, what's your advice, but you know, it's just something where you have to kind of find what's good for you. You have to find what you can consume large quantities of alcohol with. But
hard alcohol though, you're gonna go.
I don't know anybody in the community, and I don't personally know anybody in the community that tequila is their go-to drink. It's rum, it's vodka, it's whiskey.
Yeah.
Scotch, which is a form of whiskey, bourbon, which is.
Oh no, yeah, the Scotch is a special thing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that it's. I don't know anybody who's like fucking tequila.
No.
So you know, with me, I mean, it really does change. Like right now, it's Jack and Diet Coke is my go-to drink. I was drinking a lot of old fashions, but I was using scotch. I was using like Johnny Walker Black, Johnny Walker Blue to make an old fashioned because
classy,
it's
sir.
waste
I like
money.
it.
But yeah, I'm all about class. That's
I
how
can
you
tell.
describe me. But I like the taste of it. I liked it. Before that, it was vodka, like vodka and orange juice, vodka and light cran. If I was going to advise somebody, if somebody's like, "Listen, I want to fucking drink, and you need to advise me on what I need to drink," vodka, a good vodka. Don't get like a fucking shit plain alcohol. You need a good clean
Grey
alcohol.
Grey Goose.
Yeah, you can go Grey Goose or better, right? Grey Goose or better. And light cran to me is a good way to go a good way to start out. This is what people were expecting.
Jello shot is a good way.
Start out with weed and then work your way to heroin. Is what I'm saying.
Oh Christ.
Oh God.
Anyway, so there's my go-to. So like right now, yeah, I'm on Jack and Coke. Before that was old fashioned. Before that it was vodka and cran. Before that was vodka and orange juice. I love alcohol because it's legal, and you guys could change that because weed is way better for you than alcohol is, and I would consume that in mass quantities daily if it was legal, but it is not in Florida, so I can't. So the only thing I can go by is alcohol, which is in every way 100 times literally better for you, more bad,
More batter.
more batter for you than alcohol is. So
what's that? You want some baby batter?
Keep
Are we talking about Eric again?
Some baby batter. I haven't heard that before,
Right,
but now it makes sense. No, I haven't heard baby batter. The only thing I've heard really is like from the gay community is breeders. Like I know people who get upset about that when people say they use that term and they're like, "What the fuck's that mean?" It means you procreate, motherfucker. But it's never bothered me.
No.
Anyway, go ahead, Phil. Did you already answer this? What your
I don't even know
go-to?
what the fucking question was anymore. What was the question?
What's your go-to drink? I think.
Oh, my go-to drink is it's usually hard liquors, but
Hard licorice.
You know, I've been really
I
liking
haven't had
lately,
that.
and I know it's not. I'm a big Scotch guy, but Scotch.
Wait, look, hold on, wait. I'm gonna drink this real quick. But can you guys see that at all? It's a skull.
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, go ahead.
Cool.
Phil.
Now,
Sorry.
I'm a big Scotch guy, and I like Scotch, but good Scotch is expensive. So I've been messing around with whiskeys a lot, and I got hooked on it. I know there's a shit ton of calories in this, but it's the honey whiskey. But I put it in diet tonic water, and then I add water to it. So it kind of makes like a 32-ounce beverage, and I sip on that. So it's been good.
I think Lauren exposed me to that over the Mardi Gras weekend, but she does something like with lemon and tonic
Lauren
water or
exposed me to
something.
what was that again? And how did I miss that?
Yeah, how did you miss that?
I don't know. I have no
Well,
idea.
how did you miss anything she was doing?
I was been kissing Kirk at that point, so who knows?
All right, I wish.
So, TJ, we have questions from I can't see.
We have questions on YouTube.
Yeah, we got a lot of questions on YouTube. I just wanted you to get through the
I'm
Facebook
done.
stuff.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay,
Alright.
so let's get to the YouTube question.
Hey, we're gonna go long. Big fucking surprise. Keep going.
What? Get the fuck out of here.
All right, hurry.
So Dana had asked about coping mechanism. We covered that. VSG Warrior asked about drinks that we suggest. We covered that. Mama Mia asked about pretty much how hard alcohol hits you. You know, like have you noticed it? What do you do for it? Do you go for food when you're drinking? You know, like how do you control the fucking pile driver that is alcohol whenever you're a WLSer?
Okay, I think that's a good question. You definitely need to eat something. Okay, I know a few people who tend to not eat before they drink, and it hits you like super hard.
Yeah.
It's bad. I seriously suggest eating before you drink, and maybe even a little bit while you're drinking, just to not go apeshit crazy.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, I would agree.
Yeah, you got to slow your roll. The trick, I think, is if you want to get to altitude fast, don't eat. But then once you're at altitude, you want to snack a little bit. The problem is, again, when you're drunk, your inhibitions are down. You're going to eat a little bit more. So you're going to make bad food choices. Just accept that, move on, or You know, you got to eat
Prepare
something.
for it.
And a little bit of fat is not your enemy when you're drinking. So I say
Well,
eat a little bit fattier foods.
And, you know, if I'm going to go out on a Saturday night, I'll probably eat fairly light during the day, like a protein bar, or like a piece of cheese, a little bit of meat, you know, just keep it real simple during the day. And then right before I go out, I might have another protein bar or something. I won't have nothing because that's just not good. But not having anything always turns out bad.
Yeah, I agree. I'm one of the people that I've been one of the people that during drinking or while drinking doesn't eat, but on Ambien, I will want to eat everything in sight. But we already talked about that.
Yeah, Ambien is tough. I've switched, so I got off Ambien. I went to Lunesta just because Ambien I did fucking crazy after Aussie
Hundreds
style.
of dollars of spending is what
Yes.
TJ said.
Not hundreds, thousands.
I know. I didn't want to throw you under the bus.
But after I did the Aussie style video, which only a select few saw because it disappeared quickly.
Because we get up at 5:15 in the morning.
Tanya told me in the morning, I got up and she like messaged me.
Oh, fuck me running.
Did you mean to post this? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh my god! People were like, where do I send the ambulance? Yeah, it was bad.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I swore off Ambien after that.
All right. What's the next question?
Hey, fuck that. Eric can wait.
He's delayed. He actually is delayed.
Don't tell him I said that though.
Hey, you're going to ruin your chances with Eric. You better knock it off.
I know. Dana's asking about something we already answered. What? So males can drink twice the alcohol females can because they have twice the enzymes that assist in assimilation. We're not Borgs. Does anyone know if that changes a VSG person because they no longer make the same amount of enzyme, R and Y, still have their stomach intact and continue to produce the same enzyme? Kim, you're asking way too sophisticated questions for a drinking show.
Thank you.
But ultimately the question is, so she's saying, I don't know if this is true or not, so I'm just taking her word for it. She's saying that men produce an enzyme that breaks down alcohol quicker than women, so men can drink more alcohol than women can drink. So after you have surgery, VSG in particular, does that enzyme change? And I don't think any of us can answer that because we weren't aware.
Yeah, we're not scientific professionals.
I know why that is, but I can't answer if it changes.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I know that changes is ghrelin. Outside of ghrelin, I don't think that there's any chemical change from VSG. I mean, other than whenever you start losing weight, you're going to release more estrogen, more testosterone, just because they're trapped in your fat. But outside of ghrelin, unless ghrelin has something to do with that, I don't think you're going to have any difference. Aussie Lisa VSG said that muff sounds amazing.
It just
no idea. You just get your face in there and you're like, no, 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 no.
I can't wait to get back there and have more muff. And I want Eric to experience muff for the first time.
I want to watch.
I want to
Eric
be there.
Experience muff.
Yeah.
And that's
I want to watch Eric experience anything.
Yeah. Well.
Me too.
We can arrange that.
You might be that something, TJ, but
yeah, you might be that someday.
We'll put a mirror for you.
Kirk, you will get more muff because I'm going to bring some to WLSFA.
Wow.
Awesome. Hey, so can I just interject something about that particular event? So I want to do an experiment based in the...
Go ahead. Make it long, though, because I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay, so, yeah, he won't miss this. So, Tanya, so, like, I'm not suggesting that we do this at WLSFA.
Oh, I am.
I don't ever want to, like, connect the two.
Okay.
But on the cruise, we've talked about, or we've all kind of said we were going to try the unlimited drink packages, or some of us are going to try it.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Wouldn't it be interesting if because we're going to have a variety of folks on the cruise that are probably going to be participating in the unlimited drink packages. If we got one of those breathalyzer thingies and we had like a VSGer, an RNY, and like a band person, and we could like take drinks and like test our blood alcohol with the thing and see like. So we can do that. I don't want to do that at WLSFA because that's not what WLSFA is all about. But on our own private time on this cruise, that's not affiliated with WLSFA, I think we should do it, especially since we'll have access to the packages and a wide variety of like a sample
For
set of
sure.
folks. So maybe we'll try that, and if it works, or if it, if it fails horribly, we'll still video
You're going to
it.
need similar weights. You're going to need same sex,
Okay.
and you're going to need same
But you know what?
drinks.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Well, that's fairly easy to control
Okay.
because
I'm just saying, keep those
we
in
all
mind.
know our weights. It's going to be mostly women, honestly. So
Wait, there's a lot of women in this community. Wait a second.
Joey's going to be there, and
There are a lot of women in this community. That's all I'm just
oh
curious.
yeah, I'm thinking it's like 85%.
Oh, well, shit. I wish I'd known.
Yeah.
Shit, I'd done it sooner.
We can.
And
That's,
they
that's a
probably
really good
wax
idea.
their pubic areas.
I mean, the gay men alone. The gay men is why I'm here. That's all I'm saying. But whatever. Okay.
You know what's interesting? You bring that up about WLSFA and doing the cruise, and somebody had made a comment in our cruise group about, okay, so the package is like $50 a day, and you get 15 drinks, which I said is like $3.33 a drink, because of course I'm an accountant. I worked it out.
It's a deal.
Thank you. So, and somebody said, nobody should drink 15 drinks a day, but
There are 8 hours in a day.
8 hours. Phil.
At least. I'm
How
saying
much have you
That's
drank?
only
That's
2
maybe
drinks
4
an
hours
hour.
a
That's
day.
only 2
day.
drinks an hour every single hour.
That's
Like,
right.
Wait.
I mean,
Even if
that's
you
such a
start
minimal
drinking-
amount.
If you start drinking at noon, say noon, and you're laying by the pool, and you have 1 drink an hour through, like 2 a.m., because I'm planning on being up drinking and dancing.
Wait, you plan on being up drinking and dancing? No, certainly not.
Me? No.
Tanya? No.
But I'm
Listen,
like,
Tanya
Tanya will
by
only
9.
dance with you if you're under 25 and you think she's 44 or older.
shut the fuck up.
That's true. That did happen.
But you're correct.
What are you thinking? Like, if you are a young man, so if anybody's watching this and you're viewing,
And
you
you're a young
look up-
man.
and you're a young man,
But
and
you're
you
not
happen to
watching
land
it from
the
you.
older woman
Yeah.
of your dreams,
The middle.
because younger men love the older women. Not that
Middle.
Tanya's older women, but
Milf.
she is. And she says something to the effect of, "How old do you think I am?"
You guessed low.
It's a trap, first of all. It's always a trap. You guess fucking low. Like, if I stretched this and said she was 35, like, there's no way I believe she was fucking 35.
Fuck
Right?
you.
No, I'm not saying that about you. I'm just saying if this is your thought process, you're like, okay, I want to say 44. But I'm going to look at her, and I'm going to say, at
I think
her
you
fucking possibly youngest, she's going to be 32, right? You say 28, motherfucker. You don't say 44. So there's my advice to you.
He was an idiot.
Yeah.
It was a dumbass. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
And poor Tanya will never live that down because I won't allow it.
Why did I ever tell you this story? Why are you my BFF?
Because I was there whenever it happened. It's hard not to tell me the story when I was
And
right
TJ
there.
had fallen on the floor by that point, so the fact that he remembers
did.
it at all is good.
Here's the funny thing about that is I fell on the floor, everybody picked me up. John scooped and fell over, and everybody threw him out. You know the difference in that? $700 changes the difference in that.
Yeah.
If you spent $700 in a bar, you can do whatever the fuck you want, and you are not getting kicked out.
You got so
Oh
screwed.
gosh.
Okay, so let's continue. Where are we at? We're still on questions.
Here's another question.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go
Don
ahead.
Marie RNY asks, have you been having issues with not remembering everything so clearly after a night of relatively heavy drinking? Oh, that very rarely happens to me pre-surgery. Anyone experienced the same? So you had problems remembering the night of drinking post-surgery versus pre-surgery?
Who are you asking?
I'm going to go with Kirk.
Okay.
I think it's the same. I don't remember. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's the point, right?
No, I mean,
Good answer.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's certainly parts of evenings and stuff that when I see the pictures, I'm like, oh yeah, like I remember proposing to. I mean, I didn't remember it initially, but I remembered after the fact watching Patty melt. I think I proposed marriage to her at the last OH and telling her how beautiful she was and how much I wanted to marry her. And when she reminded me of that the next day, I thought, oh, that was very sweet. Like I liked that that's the way that I was, but I don't remember that.
I have to interject one thing here, just real quick, because I'll forget. Kirk scared me, because when he gets really drunk, he gets quiet. I think he's not having a good time. And then I
Yes.
feel like I have to make Kirk have a good time. So I start doing things like dancing to Guns N' Roses and
That
like,
was awesome.
Yeah.
I do these things because I want Kirk to have fun because I love him. He's my boy. So
Right.
I was a little concerned about you because you got very quiet. You get very quiet when you're drunk. It scares me. It makes me nervous. I don't know why. It just does.
Well, I'll tell you. Well, I won't tell you. I mean, there's a reason. I become extra hypersensitive or cautious when I'm in an area, especially surrounded by intoxicated straight people. Not necessarily my circle of friends, but I've had very bad experiences in the past. Where
Kirk, I will kill them for you. So you don't.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So I just become very hyper aware of my surroundings, I would say, and so I just may be thinking about my safety because I become very distant.
I will take care of your safety. Don't worry about that anymore.
All right. Yeah.
Tanya, I can handle it. Tanya can handle it. So
I can't. I'm completely useless in any physical confrontation.
Before you even start.
Me, Phil, and
think that they're attacking you.
me, Phil, and John. Me, Phil, and John.
Yeah.
Will protect you. Don't worry.
I'll watch. I'll be a good cheerleader. I can't do anything. I'm complete puss. So.
You're bullshit. I think you people in the fucking parking lot.
Yeah,
it's not Laramie, Wyoming.
Well,
like that only happened in Laramie, Wyoming. You're good.
you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
I don't know. I don't. And that was one thing
I would
that
never
Kirk
let
said to me.
anything
Like,
happen to Kirk. Ever.
no, and there was fuck, Kirk. I don't know if you mind me sharing this. I don't know if I should. I should probably ask you first, but I'm not.
No, you can say anything you want.
But there was something that Kirk said to me that was very touching to me, and it's not something I even thought about. But you had said.
I know what you're gonna say.
He said, thank you for just accepting me as one of the guys. Like just one of the to us, we didn't ever think. I didn't ever think about Kirk being gay at any point. Even whenever I was kissing him, I didn't think about Kirk being gay.
I felt the same way.
Me too.
But that's what I'm saying is that I mean I didn't think about I really didn't. I didn't think about any point that Kirk was gay or even Joey was gay. I never got to see Sonny, but it's just not something I thought about. I mean, yeah, you know that you're gay, but it's not. It's just not something that even entered my mind. And you had said that, and that to me that was one of the most touching things that came out of WLS.
I'm going to tag up because he said something else too. He said, "I never felt so safe with straight guys before," and that that touched me in my heart in a big bad way because you mean a lot to me, man. If it hadn't been for you making videos, I mean, there's a lot of that I took a lot away. I took a lot from your videos and made me believe I could do it. And I don't care if you're my boy. It doesn't matter. Sexual orientation, way you vote, I don't give a shit. I love you. You know what I mean? You're my boy. So that's it.
Well, and I think just in general, just us all having guys and the girls, ladies, women, we all have this shared collective experience of weight loss surgery, and this is why I really hate seeing a lot of infighting within the WLS community, because we've had this collective experience, this kind of life-changing alteration physically and psychologically or emotionally, and it's like what we have together as just a group transcends gender, sexuality, socioeconomic status, all of those things, or at least it should.
Amen.
And so, I think, it's, so for me to see that actually manifest itself in person, like with you guys and, with Tanya and all the people that I've got to meet, it's just like there's a bond and there's a relationship there that transcends pretty much everything. And I don't think I've experienced that in any other setting, personal or professional, in my entire life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
I think it's overall a fairly accepting community.
It is, and that's why I was really surprised, after that first WLSFA experience where we all met, there was so much controversy afterwards and people really trying to stir the pot and poke sticks at things that make issues that weren't issues and that kind of thing. And I really believe we're responsible. We're collectively as a community responsible for self-policing. So it's okay if somebody says, "Hey, I think you guys drink too much," or "I don't think that's right for me." That's fine. It's okay to have that opinion. You don't have to do it. Nobody's forcing you to do it. There's all other kinds of things you could get into. You can get into shopping, working out, becoming a slut. I mean, I don't care. I mean, it's like live and let live, really, is what it boils down to. Just be the best you and be the best you for everybody else.
But you know what?
I think that. Oh, go ahead, Tony. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say after that, I had somebody who private messaged me a lot about the possibility that I was an alcoholic and I needed to have therapy, and I had to wind up unfriending and blocking this person.
Was that Nanette Adams by chance?
Yes, it was.
God damn it! Like,
Just saying.
I
my
did a
God.
whole video on her. I did a whole video. On her. I mean, here's the thing. If you want to know anything about WLS, go back and watch my whole journey.
yeah, TJ is the man who will not keep the secrets. They're all out there for you.
I'm horrible about it, but so I mean, I think that's something that somewhat I think we should address is there's transfer addiction, right? I mean, we have shopping.
And actually, there's a
alcohol,
question about
drugs,
this.
but,
Yeah.
well, ask the question.
What's the
mostly
question?
if it's
Yeah.
into it,
So
yeah.
Lauren asked, do you think drinking is actually a transfer addiction, or do you think it's a high you get from drinking? But the whole I get drunk thing quickly.
Right.
Like, do you think it's
So-
just, oh, I get drunk quickly, so whoopee-doo?
My thing is it's just a high, right? I mean, there's things since the beginning of time. People got altered their state of mind. They danced and they did music. Like even back to the fucking primitive age where they were scratching mooses on the wall. I mean, these were three things that people always did. They altered their mind, they danced, and they had music.
Did they get naked? Did they get naked?
Well, they were always naked. They were naked until their hair fall off, until they all went and got waxed, and then they're like, my dingleberries have been
this
hanging
is
out
nice.
there, so my penis looks really small when you can see it.
I need a
so
loincloth.
I need to put something on. Is where I came from. So,
Yeah.
so I think it's just a high. I think for some people it's a transfer addiction, but I am of the opinion that addiction is very much a genetic thing. I'm one of those people. I think that it's a genetic abnormality. And the reason I say that is that I took painkillers for years. I did many drugs for years, and I just stopped. And I didn't have any ill effects, whereas other people, they do it for a month, and they're fucking strung out and blowing guys in the alley. So I think that you have a certain predisposition to it. So could you transfer addict to alcohol? Yes, I think that you could. Maybe you were never an alcohol drinker. You never thought about whatever. Then you start drinking alcohol, and then you become an alcoholic, and you get liver cirrhosis and die, like Adam says. Everybody who drinks is going to fucking die. But so yeah, I mean, if you are genetically predisposed to addiction, I would say that you should avoid it.
Yeah.
Would be my personal opinion on that. And you know that maybe not from yourself, but you know, are your parents addicted to drugs? Are your parents addicted to alcohol? Is your grandparents? I mean, I'm not saying it's guaranteed, because I know that you have your own experiences, Tanya.
Right.
But, yeah, and even Phil. So I mean, I think that I'm just saying that you have there can be a predisposition
You need to be aware. You need to be aware that is a possibility. Yeah.
And there's a difference between partying and having fun. I mean, even if it's on your own. I mean, if you're not showing up to work, or you feel like it's noon and I need to get fucking hammered, or I mean, I need a drink to
get to work, right?
Okay. And I'm of the opinion that it's okay to be a functioning alcoholic. If you take care of your shit, that's all that matters in my opinion.
Okay, I'm going to go with you on that, because, like I said, and I'm not making excuses for this at all, but my dad showed the fuck up to work. He paid his bills, he did his shit, but he had to have that drink every fucking day. He picked us up, took us to his place. He, was a good dad. Even divorced, he was a great dad. But, he had to have that drink, man. If he didn't have that drink, he was fucking sweating and jonesing. And it's a sad thing for him to drive at an alcohol level that he felt normal at. Probably was normal for him, because he had a tolerance, right?
Yeah, he's
legally, you put your ass in jail for that. That's just, as I got older as a man, I understood that it was just a problem. I don't know. It's sad, but I just don't ever want to be that, so I'm cognizant of it. I'm careful.
And I think that, I mean, for me, out of this group of four, I think I went the furthest with it. I know Phil was really concerned about me for a while. Tanya, I think you might have been concerned. Kirk, you were a little bit on the outside, so maybe not. I know Jenny was concerned. Like, I had a lot of people that were concerned about me because of my mixing of pills, drugs, alcohol all at once, excessively, like to an unhealthy amount. I mean, it wasn't. I wouldn't say that was an addiction necessarily. It was
A numbing.
It was a numbing. It was a coping mechanism of everything that was going on at the time. So I don't know. I think that people confuse addiction. You know, just because you drink a lot doesn't mean you're addicted to it. Just because just because you do a drug, whatever, a lot doesn't mean that you're addicted to it.
Right.
Not saying it can't happen, but I just think people need to really truly understand addiction. Not everybody's gonna become addicted to alcohol. Not everybody who enjoys getting drunk is a fucking alcoholic. Not everybody who enjoys getting high is a drug addict. So.
Look, I'm sure I'm an exception to the rule, but I had a grandfather, a father, and a brother. They got addicted to a substance. It's that fucking simple. I mean, that's the bottom line. I'm aware of it. I'm careful about it. I keep it in check. But I think it's that cognizant, hey, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? It's the same thing with eating. Hey, why am I doing it? You know, why am I eating this? Yeah. You have to keep that shit in check now. If you know that that's a potential, you got to measure it. What gets measured gets paid attention to, like we said earlier.
Right. So, yeah. Right. Staying aware.
So TJ, you mentioned that Jenny interceded at some point and felt very concerned. I know that. You know, Eric and I will have been together for 12 years, I think, coming up here in May. And I would say some of our most serious arguments or fights were a result of me going out, socially drinking, coming home, you know, plastered or whatever. So I don't want to make it sound like it's not a problem for me or for the people around me, per se. And gloss things over and not make it real. That wouldn't be fair. But it's certainly something that we talk about, or it's certainly something that I try to be more sensitive to. But I don't know how about you guys, Phil, or Phil and Tanya, like post-WLS and being more social, you know, which can lead to, you know, a lot of things, not just drinking, but just whatever. But we're here to talk about alcohol tonight. Have your significant others commented about the way you are post-op drunk or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think John and I's biggest issue is not about me drinking. That's not really the issue. But yeah, I've kind of touched on this before a little bit. Like when I drink, I'm a little bit more friendly, and I've always been that way, even as a heavy person. So as a heavy person, when you drink and you're friendly and you go dance, dancing's just dancing.
Yeah, it's non-threatening and
it's non-threatening. Nobody's taking you home because, you know, it's the fat girl dancing. Who cares? Yeah. But when you're a little bit more attractive and you're drunk and you're dancing, I had to realize that dancing isn't just dancing. And that was kind of like a bummer, you know, because I wanted to be the way I was back when I was in my 20s and I was heavy and I could go out and dance and it didn't mean anything. And so I've had to be more aware, and John's had to make me a little bit more aware that there could be repercussions, that you can't just go out and get drunk and do whatever you want and people aren't going to notice. People are going to notice more, and it could be dangerous for somebody. Where when I was at, you know, 250, 270, it wasn't as dangerous. So I need to be a little bit, I've learned I need to be a little bit more aware as a woman that that's not always safe, and to be a little bit more aware. So
no, that makes sense. You know.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, I think my Allison has always said, hey, I noticed you drink a little bit more than you used to. I go, well, do you think that's a problem? She's like, no, I don't think you abuse it. I just think you drink more than you used to. So I'm like, okay, it's kind of like a second gut check to my whole addiction issue, worrying about, you know, be careful about it. When I'm out and social with friends, you know, before, even as a fat kid, you know, I go out to a bar and go with all my friends and we drink, and I'd end up chatting up the girls and stuff and just having fun with them, getting to know new people. I like to meet new people. No threat there. But now I notice it's a little bit more, you got to be a little more careful with it because
you got to fight off the men and the ladies.
Well, more often, like before it was just like, oh, the fat kid's talking to me, but now it's like, oh, so like it is different. To Tanya's point, you have to be a little bit more careful because your friendliness gets you know, interpreted as flirtiness, and
exactly,
it can go sideways. So
and you know what, that's a fat king. A fat king.
It is a fat king.
It's the fat
king on Thursdays every Friday. Check it.
That we. Thank you.
But Thursday,
and-
really. Unless you're in Australia, and then it's Friday.
Growing up as fat kids, we had to develop a personality and be funny and somebody that people wanted to talk to. So you have that kind of personality development, and then when you lose the weight, it turns into flirting. And it was never flirting before. It was really just social acceptance.
Yeah.
And that is a strange place to evolve to. That I wasn't trying to be flirty. I was really just trying to be friendly. But it's coming across flirty now because you're perceiving me a different way. So
maybe that's why I never developed a personality, is because I wasn't lifetime fat.
Oh,
That's
you have
why
a personality.
Maybe that's why I'm very
You ride
bland.
on your big, thick beard, and
Big
you're fine.
figure also.
So there's a couple. We're running way over.
Way
but,
late.
Yeah, there's a couple questions.
Well, let's give up
about-
something juicy here at the end, so people will always
well,
really hang out.
No, we can, but there's just like two questions. So,
Okay.
Okay.
one
Two
is
more
about
questions.
mixers. I mean, mixers are very like it's common. And Shell Bell, she's asking about carbonation. Does it bother you? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I mean, carbonation is something that people are always afraid of. Like, ooh, carbonation. They say. So let me just tell you now, if you had VSG, now I can't talk about RNY, I can't talk about any of the other surgeries, but VSG, carbonation is not going to stretch out your sleeve. So stop worrying. It's going to give you the foamies. You're probably going to puke. You're going to be uncomfortable, but it's not going to stretch out your stomach.
Right.
But for me, I mean, for mixers, she doesn't like cran is what she's saying. But like I'll do Diet Coke. I mean, put a lot of ice in it. It's much more alcohol than it is Diet Coke. But you can shake it up. And it's just because the carbonation does bother me. It is not dangerous. Carbonation is not dangerous to a sleeve patient. It's not going to stretch your stomach out. You are fine with carbonation if you can tolerate it.
Yeah.
But for me, Diet Coke, cran, orange juice. I mean, obviously orange juice I don't care for in the sense not that I don't like it. I love the taste of it, but it's huge on the calories. So that's why I go with the light cran. If you can't go with the light cran, then Diet Coke I think is just fine, or Coke Zero or anything like that. But you have to remember that even though it's diet and it has artificial sweeteners in it and it says 0 calorie, you're still going to have a very similar chemical reaction in your body to an insulin spike. So don't think that you're safe just because you're drinking diet soda.
Yeah.
So let's keep that in mind. But anyway, what's your guys' thoughts on mixers and the carbonation thing?
Sugar-free Jell-O makes a great mixer.
It does. It does.
Oh, yes, it does.
I learned that in New Orleans. My good friend, our good favorite, one of our favorite housewives of NOLA, Andrea, when our very first stop was to pick up a few trash bags full of Jell-O shots. That was amazing.
It sounds like you're going to Tanya's house.
We were going to Tanya's house. Yeah.
We went to Tanya's house and she had like a fridge. Like her fridge had no food in it or drink. It just had rows and rows of Jell-O shots.
But, yeah, we're all going through the bag like a bunch of junkies looking for the ones with tequila too. We're like, that's got tequila.
Yeah.
That one's got tequila. Fuck, this one's got tequila.
But I'm gonna say, Tanya, don't get mad at me, but the Jell-O shots at Gasparilla put the Mardi Gras shots to shame.
Really?
Yeah, because they use gummy bears and they soak them in Everclear.
You
That's
had
because-
the Aussie version is what you're saying.
It's real sugar and Everclear.
Yeah, that's
You
pretty
can't
hard
get
to
away
beat.
from bad with
Mine,
real sugar.
mine,
and
are,
Everclear.
mine are WLS friendly.
But so let's go. So Phil, I mean, what's your take on mixers and carbonation? So I guess cover them both.
In mixers, for carbonation for me, as long as I cut it with booze, it seems to take the bubbles out of it. So Diet Coke, Coke Zero. Coke Zero is my preference over Diet Coke, but I use a lot of diet tonic, even in my just water and juice. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I
can't do tonic, man. I'll tell you why. Because one time I went in, because I'm totally hijacking, but I went in to buy just some club soda, and I bought some tonic water. Oh my fucking god! I thought I was going to hurl. Oh my, because it has quinine in it, right?
It prevents you from getting malaria, which is the beauty of it. But
well, malaria or scurvy. If you're if you're not trying to treat malaria or scurvy, stay the fuck away from tonic water.
It's a very citrusy taste, and I like that. I do like that. So
I wouldn't say citrusy. I'd say if you enjoy somebody shitting in your mouth, then drink tonic water.
I would not say that.
I know people who are interested in that.
I'm not doing it.
I think that's hotplate.com, or at least it used to be.
Silence the Fidel. I don't want to know this.
Phil, I'm sorry.
Well, after that, my fucking face hurts. So, yeah, those are my mixers. Juice, diet juices. V8 diet juice is great. They have all kinds of flavors. And you get vitamins, which is great. And
vitamins. It's vitamins
with your alcohol is always good. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, the beer once in a while, but only if it's like a really a nitrous beer or something very flat, like a very stout. Like I'm a very dark beer kind of dude. Yeah, but that's rare because there's just too many fucking calories in beer.
Yeah, see, I went to this is again kind of a sidetrack, but if you were a beer drinker, like I know Andrew still drinks beer. He can do it.
He's recently. I'm just saying.
And again, I'm gonna go back to if you guys want to drink carbonated beverages, you can. I mean, if you can tolerate it, go ahead. It is not going to damage your fucking sleeve. It's just not going to happen. But for me, I can't tolerate it well, so I went to ciders. And I know me and Kirk, when we met, that was the first time I drank, and I had a cider, so I can drink cider because it's very low in the carbonation.
Yeah, very low.
And it still has the same kind of similar taste. I mean, definitely sweeter, similar taste, similar kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, if you want, if you're a beer drinker, maybe look around for a cider that substitutes that. But Tanya, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Why don't you answer the question? What's your thoughts on it?
No, I don't have anything new. I agree that the carbonation gets cut by the alcohol, so it doesn't affect me as much. So yeah, I drink. My drink right now is Kraken and Diet Coke. So
I just like Kraken and Diet Coke.
Great.
A little Kraken Diet Coke will do you.
Kraken Diet Coke. Kraken or Kraken. It's bad.
It's good.
So there's another question that I think only. Okay, well, this might not be it then. You might see something different than me. I don't know. You can ask it, but the last question, but the one I see is from Zen.
All right, go ahead.
Zen, I still say that you look fucking 17 in your icon. I'm still saying it. But anyway.
Which is why he won't talk to you.
You're not 18. I can't talk to you.
Can't talk to you.
She says, "What is your experience with herb and when you drink?" And I think am I the only one that is a marijuana advocate?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not opposed to it, but I don't do it.
You don't do it. Tanya's never done it. Phil's never done it.
No, I've never done it, but I'm not opposed to it. Go ahead. You take it. It's all
You're not opposed, but you've never done it. And Kirk?
No, and I think that's because you typically have to smoke it, and for most people, that's how it's available. I'm not a smoker. I've never even had a cigarette in my life. I'm just not. That just doesn't appeal.
You can do edibles, but
I'm not opposed to someday trying an edible version. Because
I'm just going to tell you, you have to be careful. So let me school you guys on the way this works. Edibles will fuck you up. And there's no way to moderate that shit, and you're fucked up for hours. It is not a comfortable feeling if you eat too much.
And that's what I've heard. So it doesn't have the appeal to me. I'd rather just go with what I know, and that's.
Now a secondary way to go is a vaporizer, right? So you can vaporize it. It's not the same vaping as cigarette as a nicotine thing. Like I can't vape. It's not good. Like I just can't breathe it as far as like the cigarette vaping thing, right? But you can vaporize it. So then you get THC content without all the smoke. So it's not damaging to your lungs. So that's something that you could do. My thought on drinking and herb is that it just takes you to an area that you probably like a person shouldn't be in. You know what I mean? Like that is like.
That sounds bad.
I mean, it really is. I mean, you have to figure out what it is that you're going for. I mean, if you just want to be so fucked up that you're not conscious of what the fuck you're doing, then then smoke weed and drink at the same time. I mean, it's very similar to Ambien, you know. I mean, if you're double dosing, so you're doing drugs and you're drinking,
that's bad.
I mean, depending on what drugs if you smoke weed and you drink, you're not going to die unless you drink too much because weed is not going to kill you. But If you're drinking and you're doing painkillers, or you're drinking and you're doing muscle relaxers, or you're drinking and you're doing anxiety medicine, or you're
Anything
drinking
that
and you're
TJ
doing
does on a
sleeping
normal
pills.
basis, basically.
Anything I do on a daily basis will probably
Bad. Not good.
So I mean, I don't think that you should mix. I think you should go with what it is that you want. Pick your poison. So you want alcohol, then go alcohol. If you want drugs, go drugs. If you want pills, go pills. Don't mix shit, because that's how you die, and that's how bad things happen to you.
Yeah.
So that's my view on it.
I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
I think that is good advice. Do we have any more questions, TJ? Any? I didn't see any other ones.
Let me just do it. Oh shit.
One more and that's it.
I don't know. Do you see one I haven't seen?
I don't see one. I'm just saying.
I'm just going Nunes going first. Don't do it. Don't mix the two. Shell Bell says, so she agrees with me. Such an awesome show tonight. Great. Well said, Kirk. No, I see no more questions.
You know what that means.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. Why don't you guys say goodbye and I'll take us out. We'll start with Tanya.
All right. Thank y'all. I think we had a great show tonight. I really enjoyed the discussion. Thanks, guys.
Mr. TJ.
I think it was good. It was a good show, and we have a lot more to discuss. I mean, there's so many topics. So somebody brought up just to acknowledge it. Somebody brought up relationships, and we we had a very in-depth conversation about that.
Yeah.
And the thing with relationships and issues with relationships is that there's another person involved in that.
Yes.
So for us to speak about the other person,
Right.
It's a bad idea.
It's just not. It's not right for us. So I mean, you have to get a buy-off from everybody that everybody's good for you to talk about this topic. So it's hard. I mean, we might kind of talk about it in a roundabout way, in a more in a wide spectrum.
Overview. An overview.
Right. Yeah, like a high level. We're not going to get real granular with it or anything. So yes, we got the question. We appreciate the question. I think relationships need to be talked about, but we have to be respectful of our partners and what we put out there. So outside of that, there's lots of topics that we can. I mean, we have an endless amount of topics, and if you guys have more, definitely let us know. And that's all I have.
Kirk.
Awesome. Yeah, no, just I appreciate us having the opportunity to talk about this really openly and candidly, because it is a hot topic, or it is something that comes up pretty frequently, and for the most part, I think people kind of get it, but there are some people that are very vocal, that are sort of the folks out there who are sort of spinning things for various reasons for whatever reason. So I'm glad we're able to have this forum to talk about it, and we had great questions, and hopefully our impressions and our experiences are going to be helpful for other folks out there, at least so they don't feel like they're the only ones experiencing these things.
All right, I'm going to take up and say that it's not a party until a drunk guy says "I love you, man." So I love all of you guys. I do. I really do. You guys are my people. So and a lot of you guys are watching, my people for sure. So thanks for letting us have this topic. We will definitely be coming back at you next week with some more stuff. I hope that
I'm going to pause the whole show.
Every fucking time.
No, I'm going to pause the whole show because somebody has a question.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
No, I gotta wait because we're on delay, so they gotta wait for us to catch up to them. I'm gonna say, hurry! What is your question? The person that's watching this will know. Hurry!
There's always one.
What is your question? You're holding everybody up.
I hope it has something to do with
caps lock. What is your question? Hurry!
Eric inseminating TJ.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see it.
God, I really wish I could. Dude, I asked it. Okay, well, never mind. They're not going to get their answer They're not going to get their answer because I asked them directly, what is your question? Tell me what your question is. And their response was, dude, I asked it, look back.
No, fuck you, and everybody looks like you.
I'm so glad that you are the one that said that, Phil, and not me. Go ahead and take
I'm
us out.
TJ now. This is how it works. Fuck you and everybody who looks like you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for your support and letting us be a bunch of buzzed assholes who love each other. And until next time, don't define your world in black and white because there's so much hiding in the gray.